Hello and welcome to the We Want Women podcast. We are right here in the Big Condo Radio studio and we're very, very excited as always for our fantastic guest today. But before we introduce them, my name's Nick Hardman.
I'm Rachel Meddings.
And We Want Women, and We Want Women is a Liverpool-based project, and we're all about finding a space to empower women's voices in the performing arts, whether that's through online showcases now in COVID, or sharing circles, and hopefully we'll get back to the live shows as well. So that's what we're about. So today we are super excited to introduce the fantastic Eve Howlett, aka Queen of Heartbreak.
Hello there. You're right.
Hey. How are you doing?
Very well, thanks for having me. It's so good to be here.
It's amazing to see you. It's weird. It's just like, oh, it's a real person. Hello.
I think I'm real.
Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, what you do?
Yeah, sure. So, like you said, my alter ego is the Queen of Heartbreak, who kind of came out of lockdown, really. But before that, I'm a full-time life model, and I run a cabaret show called The Secret Circus, which I compare, book all the acts, have a lot of fun, and then, take my clothes off occasionally.
What an amazing job to have, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, most people just dream about doing stuff like that, but you are a living proof that can happen.
Yeah, I've always been one to be like, what do I love doing? How can I make money from it? Hopefully.
How inspiring. So how did the Secret Circus as well? So we know about the Secret Circus at We Want Women, but tell everybody who's watching and listening, what is it about? How did you start it?
So it's kind of inclusive as possible cabaret show, and we just invite like the most weird and wonderful people that we can, who would never normally be under the same circus tent as we say, all together. So you get in the audience we get like 18-year-olds sat next to 18-year-olds. On stage you get a serious poet, and then the next act will be like a Harry Potter boylesque act, and then the next act will be like a trans comedian talking about sex work, and like just the most bizarre group of people, but every single night's unique because of the people that are there. So it started just because me and Chanel put on an event raising money for environmental awareness, and Studio 2 approached us and they were like, would you put on like a monthly student night for us? And we were like, hell yeah. And then barely any students came. It was just turned out to be like all walks of life coming in, and it just blossomed into some community, and it's really special.
That really is so special. What a beautiful, that's just kind of the way you'd write it for a movie, isn't it? It's like, this is exactly what I would want to happen if I set up a night, just bring in everybody and everything's cool and everyone gets on. That sounds like how I want the world to be.
Yeah, me too.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit more about, so you're obviously a woman in the performing arts. Tell us about your experiences of that, because people have different experiences of that, and some of it's good, some of it's bad, and we want to know, how's it been for yourself?
I think for me, the way I got round kind of what a lot of people struggle with is that I was always like, I want to be my own boss. If I'm not happy with the way people are treating me or whatever, I'm just going to do it myself. So I'm going to start my own events business. I'm going to be self-employed and work for myself, and I'm just going to do everything my own way. And same with the Queen of Heartbreak. It's like, although I have, people that inspire me, I was always like, I'm going to do makeup the way I want to do it. I'm going to dress how I want to do it. And although some people might find my poems very amateur and child, they make me laugh, and that's all I care about. And as long as I'm having a good time, I think that shines through it, and people bounce off that and stuff, and feel my excitement in everything I do. So I've always just been like, right, I'm just gonna run it myself. If I can't get a real job, I'm gonna make one for myself.
Yeah. What confidence as well, I mean, we're sat here in the studio and I'm kind of feeling like an equal amounts as ever when I see you, but equal amounts of like pure calm strength, and also just this wonderful sense of self and wacky, colourful, beautiful, all combined into one, so it's like
Stop. But carry on.
But seriously though, I mean, it's special to have that. It's special to know, I'm going to do it all my own way. Where does that confidence come from?
I think it's inspired by my parents. Before I was born, they started a fancy dress shop, and obviously it's rubbed off on me. But I found out like my dad used to be a strippogram, and like
God.
they've always just done what they love, and like my dad's always just like have 50 jobs and just been like, I feel like doing this, and I think I'm the same way. So I think all of it I've just learnt from them, just to be like, oh well, I love dressing up and making costumes, so how can I make money from that? It's just me and my brother are both the same way now, and I think our kids will hopefully be the same way, because I think I'll cry if they get a 9-to-5 office job.
An amazing like inspiration as well to have, to just your parents just being like that, and you're just like, I'm just gonna follow what I want to do. I've got my own mojo, and fuck everybody else. It's fine. I can just do what I want. Exactly. So it's amazing, What was I going to say? That you were talking about your brother and kids, and like I suppose the followers that you have are kind of in that place as well. I mean, do you find that you've got a lot of people following you and doing and being involved in what you do? Is it been hard to get followers, or has that just been really easy?
I think I'm still surprised at how people are like, I love your poems and I've been following this, or like with the Secret Circus, like people are just so like, if you need anything, and I'm like, and they're like, no really, I just want to get involved, and I'm like, wow, okay, can you do the door please? But like, I'm just, like I say, I think from just being so like confident in what I do, that rubs off on people, and like just having fun, people want a slice of the pie, and I'm so bad for trying to do everything myself that it's become hard to like trust people to do it and to kind of delegate. But as soon as I've kind of realised like people really do want to get involved, then it's been great, and I'm so grateful for everyone that's supported me.
That's fantastic. And talking about like money and support, and I mean, it's been not great recently, has it? In that way,
it's been a pretty rough time for everyone, I think. But especially with the Secret Service. I was going to say the Secret Circus.
Everyone says that.
With it being so kind of live performance based, I imagine the whole COVID-19 has impacted you quite a lot.
Well, so we did a couple of online shows, but for me, they just didn't scratch the itch. Like, you do it, and afterwards, normally you go through all the stress of doing a show, and then afterwards, everyone's like, well done, and you're hugging everyone, and like, without that, you kind of hang up the Zoom call and you're sat on your own in the living room in full costume, just be like, oh, what the fuck is my life all about? Like, this is weird. And like, I just didn't get the same buzz off it. So instead, like, in February, the last show we did before lockdown, I did my first like full poetry set as the Queen of Heartbreak. Like before, I'd just done the odd poem, but it got such good feedback that having lockdown to kind of write more poems, record all the ones I'd done, like suddenly something started to click, and I was like, oh my god, this is like an act that I can do well, because I've got the time now to really develop it. Whereas normally I'll be like, I've got an idea for an act, and then the day of the show I'm like, I better quickly come up with it then. But this is like, suddenly like, I volunteered to do one show and then got asked to do another show, and that's usually you know, the spark of something is when you suddenly are getting booked and you're like, I'm doing something every week and normally I wouldn't be doing this, but because now a lot of shows are online, I've performed for like things in America and London and things that I've met people that I wouldn't normally meet, and that's just incredible. So every cloud has a silver lining if you can find it.
Absolutely, yeah. You know, and when you were nominated, you know, as the favourite, as the Woman of the Week at Queen of Heartbreak, that was fantastic. You know, it got such great feedback, and
I didn't expect it, honestly.
No, it was really lovely to see that character as well.
Yeah.
Tell us, like, who is she then? So if you've had time to think about her, like, what's she about? What's her?
I think like she is kind of the opposite of me in a way, because I'm so like easy to fall in love and very like, I don't want to offend anyone. So when I get into the character, I can be a complete bitch, and I can be like, there's no such thing as love, and life's all pain, and every little thing's gonna make me angry and want to write a poem about it. And like, I guess it's all the little things that normally would make me cry, I then turn into like a comedic poem and kind of take the weight off of what happened in real life and kind of turn it into comedy and like make a living out of it one day, I hope. But yeah, she's just a complete bitch, and she wears what she wants, and everything's big hair, big eyelashes, big dresses, and just everything I wish I could wear every day. She does.
She's like, to me, when I first saw an image of the Queen of Heartbreak, it was like this magic cross between like Glinda from you know, the Wizard of Oz, but also there was kind of like, you know, elements of I don't know, like a 1600s kind of, you know, woman in that massive dress, and then there was also kind of like a little sprinkling of just a bit of kind of horror as well in there, you know, just like, you know, like you say, I just feel like wearing this like fairy lights in your hair, and it's amazing.
Because initially it was like a play on like the Queen of Hearts, so I had my first ever outfit. I think I based the character on the outfit, which I do a lot of the time, but it was this huge wedding dress that Chanel had made, where she'd made a fake heart that was coming out of it with all this blood running down the dress, and I was like, I could use that for an act. And then I kind of just started doing variations of that, and then now I'm like, I don't want to be too associated with the Queen of Hearts, so what else can I wear? I've worn too much red, what else can I wear? And I'm just like having fun actually wearing all the massive amount of costume and wig that I've got in my many wardrobes.
Like that just sounds like the type of room that I want to just go and root round and have a look. And
you're welcome anytime.
It's amazing. So you have performed for us, or are going to perform for us today, which is very special. And it's one of your poetry pieces. So tell us a bit about it and what it's about.
Sure. So this is based on something that happened to me during lockdown. And basically I'd gone for one of my like 1-a-day walks that we were allowed, and I came back in my room and I was like, why is this on the floor, and something had fallen off, and I went to put it back on my wardrobe and there was a pigeon looking at me, and I was like, what the fuck? And then I panicked and I was like, oh my god, what do I do? How do you get a pigeon out of your room? And then I was like just panicking, and then I looked up and there was another pigeon, and I was like, oh my god. And then I left the room and I was phoning my stepdad, and he was like, I live in Bath, what the fuck do you want me to do about it? And I was just like, I don't know, oh my god, I'm gonna have to sleep on the sofa. And then I googled it, and they were like, once you get one, you'll get loads. And I was like, I can't shut the window, I can't open the window, I don't know what to do anymore. And then I went back in my room and they'd just gone. And then 3 days later, I went in my room again and I saw the same thing on the floor, and I was like, oh shit. And I looked up and there was a fucking bird's nest.
Oh my god! I mean,
Yeah.
I've seen you perform this very recently,
Yeah,
and I
yeah.
love this story. But I didn't realize that when you came back, it had happened again. There was a
Again,
nest.
I didn't learn the first time and left my window open again.
Oh my god! I mean,
So yeah, I wrote a poem in the style of The Raven by Edgar Allan Poe, and it's just become a favourite. And,
well,
and they've never come back again.
thank
thank
God.
God.
Yeah, they've obviously learnt their lesson as
I
well.
put a jangly reflective owl outside and a fake snake and some chili powder, and it's never come back since.
Really?
Really.
Guys, we're learning something from this all the time. But let's take a listen to this amazing poem.
The Pigeon. Once, upon a midday bright, I found myself in such a fright. In my room I heard a tapping. I looked up to see a pigeon crapping on my bedroom floor. A bloody pigeon sat on my wardrobe door. "E-bid, take thy fat ass out of here." But the bird just looked at me without fear. "And take thy form from off me wardrobe door," quoth the pigeon. "Nevermore." I turned and jumped in fright. There was another pigeon to my right. How many more are hiding on my bedroom floor? I may have to surrender my room to these burdens too. Trapped and scared, no clue what to do, and the other pigeon, never flitting, still is sitting, shitting, with eyes that look suspicious above my wardrobe door. "How long do you intend this to stay upon me wardrobe door?" quoth the pigeons. "Forevermore." Startled at the stillness broken by an imaginary voice, I leave the room to ponder my choice. In the kitchen I spot a seedy solution, a way of saving my room from pigeon poo pollution. I may win this war against all odds by offering a bribe to these pigeon gods. When I reluctantly returned, I was shocked to my core because the two fat birds were there no more. No longer sitting, shitting upon my bedroom floor. Yet, in the place of those two pests, they'd gone and built themselves a bloody bird's nest, marking their territory with one final jest. I can still hear the soft pigeon coo as I clean up their poo from my wardrobe door. Haunted by a distant, distinct caw-caw! Do I dare open my bedroom window again? Nevermore.
Amazing. Absolutely amazing. Love it. It's so funny as well. It's just the way you sort of nonchalantly talk about the pigeon. It just gets me.
Yeah. I
Man.
mean, my mum was just like, "You've got to write a poem about this," and I was like, "Oh yeah, that's a good idea."
Wow. Talk about originality.
Yeah.
There it is.
Thank you.
Beautiful.
Glad you enjoyed it.
Yeah, it's very inspiring to just write about whatever the hell you want to write about and not worry about it.
Those burdens.
Tell us a little bit then about some of your inspirations, or like what makes you feel creative, what brings out the muse for you.
I think obviously like drag, so shows like Dragula, RuPaul's Drag Race, like I'm a massive fan, and like I think just watching all the different styles of drag and seeing everyone at like Eat Me and Preach and events like that, just every time I watch a show or I go away and I've got some new idea in my head, or like I'm like, oh, I like what they do, I'll try and do it but not as well. And people like Lady Gaga and stuff, like she was my inspiration from quite a young age, so I just try and like replicate what she does, but I have barely any money, so like I made her meat dress but out of like dog chewy toys. Or like I do stuff with real food, so I made like a full English breakfast outfit with like mostly made out of food, and then by the end of the night like people had eaten it, so I was like basically naked.
Oh my god, that's amazing.
Yeah, so like I think someone just is so themselves and just isn't afraid to like try something new or wear something crazy, like really I just look at them and I'm like, oh, I haven't made something in a while, like how can I like use this lampshade to make something, or dog chewy toys, or
yeah, I mean it's beautiful to hear, and you know it really warms me inside. And I mean, I think a lot of people, and you know, and especially women as well in the performing arts, they have such a problem with themselves because the industry is of course that way inclined, and there's so much of that, you know, and you're coming in here and you're such a positive influence and you're just so cool and open about it, you know. So what I suppose I'm gonna sort of give you, you know, like this is a question for the Queen, you know. It's, I suppose, how or what would you say to somebody who is kind of struggling to find that, and what's the best thing, do you think, advice that you could give to them to try and
fuck everyone else? Like honestly, people are so judgmental, but I realised recently it's like people pass a judgment in their head, and that's like such a tiny percentage of their day and then their month and then their life, whereas if you like take it, that can take up your whole entire life, just thinking like this one thing over and over again. And it's like just realising that people may be like, oh, what the fuck are you doing? That's a bit weird. Like, they'll forget about it, especially when people are younger. Like, that's all they hear when they're younger, and like, but in years' time, those people will turn around and be like, whoa, you look great, like, you're doing so well with your life, whereas I, you know, don't get the same opportunities because everyone thinks I'm a massive bitch for being so judgmental. Like, it's just be like, oh, you know, it's hard, but, you know, if I'm doing what I love, it's going to bring the right people towards me and the most supportive people, and if they're not supportive, like, bye-bye, like, go and get on with your life where you sit and judge everyone, but, you know, you should be like, you're obviously, there's something not clicking right with you. You haven't found what you love, so you're taking that out on other people, so, yeah fuck them.
Totally, you know, and we completely agree with you. It's just like, how hard is it to get to that point, you know? I certainly feel like it's taken me a long time, and I still, if I'm really honest with myself, there's a couple of things where I go, oh, I'm still not okay with that, and I need to sit down and think about it, you know, for a bit. But it is a very difficult to get to that point, isn't it? And
and I think it's ongoing process, and it's probably a lifetime process. Like, no one gets to a certain age and feels completely 100% with themselves. Like, if they may say they are, but truly, like, I don't think I'll ever be 100%, but that's what drives you, that's what, you know, that's why you keep making art and things like that. And then if you slip up, you're like, all right, well, what can I do differently? Like, if you're 100% with yourself, you just do the same thing all the time. So
that's a really good way of thinking about it.
Motivation.
Never thought about it like that before.
Yeah, that's what I think.
It's amazing. Have you always been like that as well, or have you had a lot of work to get to that point?
Yeah, I think, like, growing up, like, I always felt a bit like I wanted to fit in with like the popular girls at school, and so I dressed like the way they dressed, but not like there'd always be something that wasn't right, or, you know, I was always trying to fit in and be one of them, and then as soon as I got to kind of 14, 15, I was like, actually no, like, I'm gonna start dressing how I want to dress and wearing big buttons in my hair, and then suddenly everyone just left me alone, and like all the bullying stopped. Everyone was just like, oh, she's okay with herself, so we've got nothing to niggle at, we've got no insecurity to play off, because she's just kind of, you know, it was just a subconscious thing, I think, that people were just like, calm down with me in a way. So I think, but still now, like, you know, I get jealous of people, I'm human. The Queen's not, she's a fucking bitch, but I'm human.
I was just gonna say, how dare you have those traits? How dare Yeah. How inspiring. Just it's amazing to talk to you today. Thank you so much for sharing your wisdom, your royal ways.
Oh, I've loved it.
And,
it's been so good to talk to you.
Yeah.
And, same again soon, hopefully.
Yeah, definitely. Tell everybody where we can find you. So
so I'm the Queen of Heartbreak on all social media. The Secret Circus is the Secret Circus Worldwide on Facebook, and then on Instagram it's _secret_circus_. So, I'm so annoyed at the people that picked that one.
Well, we'll link it anyway.
That'd be great, and then Eve Howlett, but I think the Queen of Heartbreak needs a bit more love than I do.
Thank you so much, Eve. It's been absolutely amazing. So inspiring.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Well, what an amazing... I feel like I say the same thing at the end of these podcasts all the time when we talk to artists. It's just fantastic, isn't it?
Honestly, my cheeks hurt from this conversation, from laughing for like 25 minutes straight.
Yeah, no, absolutely fantastic. So please make sure you go and check out Eve Howlett, Queen of Heartbreak, and the Secret Circus. Don't forget the underscores. And if you want to check us out, we are www.wewantwomen.co.uk. That'll take us to the Facebook page.
And if you want to find us on Instagram, it's /WeWantWomenLiverpool.
Fantastic. So take care and do all the amazing individual things, and we will see you soon.
See you soon.